Now, you can see starting off with the coils. You can see, of course, the biggest difference is that this is the AT Pro's stock DD coil. Basically, the DD coil is basically like having two coils in one. This is one coil, the other side is another coil. And then you have right here the Garrett Ace 250's stock. I can't pronounce what it's called, but it's like a concentric coil, I believe. And you can see it's the Performance Ace coil. Now, obviously, as for pinpointing with these two coils, in a way they're pretty similar on how you pinpoint. Now, looking at the Ace 250's coil, the obvious place you're going to think you can pinpoint is in this general area. Well, from my experience, it is true that this general area right here is the best place to pinpoint. More specifically, where this little indentation is in it is probably the easiest place to pinpoint. So, pinpointing for the Ace 250 is generally in this specific area. Now, of course, there are different techniques that you can use, to improve your pinpointing, but just for pinpointing in the regular sense, the easiest place is right here. The AT Pro is different. You'll notice that it doesn't have, an obvious central piece. But what you'll notice is that it has these individual little holes right here, and it has the two big ones to the side. The individual holes in the center or the area that you are going to want to focus your pinpointing on. Now, from my experience, this center right here is very good. Basically the basic way to pinpoint is when you pinpoint it fully, it's going to end up right about here in this little spot. Now, another way to do it that I've read about is you just use the tip right here, and that when you back the coil up like that, and then when you bring it forward, when it gets a signal, or when it starts getting the signal, you've pinpointed it to the right in front of it. Now, that's another way to do it. Now, I'm sure there are other ways to do it, but I'm not going to get into that much detail. Now, moving up the shaft, another thing you're going to notice right on is that they have the same locking mechanism. They have the same screw system for the AT Pro and the Ace 250. It's just a plastic screw with a plastic bolt. They can fit each other. It's the same thing. So if you have one, you can always switch them out in case one breaks. Now, moving a little bit farther up, you'll notice on the Ace 250, it has the basic, you push the little, I forget what these are called, but you basically push them in, and they pop back out whenever they come over the hole, like right there, as you can see. See, when it comes back out of the hole, it pops out. Not sure if Garrett sells cam locks for the Ace 250, but with the AT Pro, it comes with cam locks. But even without the cam locks, you can see that it also has the same type of system. But like you said, it has two cam locks, one here and one at the bottom. Of course, you can set them wherever you want. Now, one more thing I should mention about the coils of the two detectors. You cannot use the AT Pro coils with the Ace series coils. And the most obvious reason is because, well, you'll notice that they have, first of all, they have two different locking mechanisms. You see, see that mechanism for the Ace 250, and you'll see this one for the AT Pro. Now, not only that, but the AT Pro's locking mechanism on it for the coil, it makes it waterproof. So if you were to try and put in the Ace 250s, it wouldn't be waterproof right there. But the biggest reason, like I was getting to, is that the AT Pro's, let me see, well, I'm not going to be able to pull that out right now, but the AT Pro's coil, it cannot fit into the housing of the Ace 250. It's not designed to do that. And then just the same, the Ace 250s cannot fit into the AT Pro's housing. The connection is completely different. Well, everybody, as you can see, we're going to take a little look at the Ace 250 screen plate, and then we're going to go over to the AT Pro and compare the screen and the buttons on it with the Ace 250. Now, to start off, on the bottom right, you have the power button. You push it in, and it turns on immediately. You hit it again, it turns off immediately. Other than on and off, the power button also allows you to factory reset the button by holding it in for about 5 seconds. Moving on to the pinpoint button, obviously, when you're pinpointing something, you basically just wave the coil back and forth, And let's say it's right there, you're holding the button and you get the signal right there where the noise gets the highest and where the icons move farthest to the right on the top. Now, the moving to the right again on the bottom, you'll see they have the elimination button. Now the elimination button, in order to work, you also need to use the discrimination button. So what you do is when you turn on the Ace 250, you see that it's moving right there, the top icon. I'm moving it, and I hit the eliminate button. It eliminates that. I move it again, it eliminates that. So no longer am I picking up, right now, no longer am I picking up the gold range or the penny range. Now, that's what these two buttons do. This moves the piece around to decide what you want to eliminate, and the eliminate button eliminates it. Now, moving on to the sensitivity button, you see right here we have 4 bars. What you do is, I can lower it all the way to 1. I can bring it all the way back up to full sensitivity. Now, that's what the sensitivity button does. Now, moving on to the mode button, you'll notice on this sign we have all metal. You see right there we have all metal. We have jewelry mode, custom mode, relic mode, coin mode. So what you do is, watch. I'm going to move to jewelry mode. Now it's a different, now the icons have become different. Move to custom mode. That's what I set it up like, custom mode. Relic mode, everything but iron is eliminated. Everything other than iron is not eliminated. Coin mode, you see, that's the way it was set right now. Okay. Now another thing about the Ace 250 screen is you've also got the battery level right there. Now with the Ace 250, when the battery icon goes down to 1 bar, you need to replace the batteries. The reason why is because it doesn't work very well with 1 battery. It starts getting very erratic, gives you false signals, and it gets irritating. Now, you see right here is the coin depth thing, and it goes from 2 inches to 8+ inches. And then that's what the coin depth is. It's pretty straightforward. It'll tell you the depth, either when you're passing the coil over the target or when you're pinpointing. Now, you'll notice right here you have silver range, you have gold and bronze range, and you have iron and foil. When I hunt with this, the way I like to set it up is I like to have basically everything from the gold range to the right. I want to have that open. Now right now you can see it's been, I've messed with it a little bit while making this video, so it doesn't look like that. But generally speaking, I have it like that. I'm sure with the Ace 150 users, you've noticed a few differences. For instance, the Ace 150 only has 3 buttons: power button, sync sensitivity, and mode button. It doesn't have pinpoint. Now, I'm not completely familiar with the Ace 150, but from what I remember, that's what it's like. But moving back to the Ace 250, you'll notice it has this. The Ace 250 and the Ace 150 have the same icons on top, basically, from what I remember. The Ace 350, it's a little bit different. It has a different faceplate. It has, I think, a different mode or something like that. I think iron is basically green, and the rest is good signals. But that is basically the template or the faceplate and the buttons of the Ace 250. Now I'm just looking at less specific things. You see here is the earbud thing. You can basically plug in any 1/4 size headphones. On the other side, like I showed you before, I believe, you'll see the coil plug-in. Now, this is a little screw that you have to unscrew, and then you just pop it out very easily. You see the speakers right here, and I've already gone over the coil. So that pretty much shows you the Ace 150. Final thing I guess I could show you is the arm cuff, which is basically comes with a strap. Ace 150 does not come with a strap, and you see that's about the only difference between the arm cuff between the two. See, it's made out of plastic. It has a screw holding it in. Pretty easy to unassemble the Ace 150. Okay, now we're going to move on to the AT Pro.